Hello future tech leaders, I'm Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Now, in this entire certification process, many teams are going to involve. Let's say, I would say business team or stakeholders, the target application team, then governance team, Sailpoint engineering team, and development team. These many people are going to involve to fulfill this one certification process. The requirement always comes from either application team, target application team, or business. Then governance team will decide what type of certification needs to be configured. Then that configuration part will be taken care of by certification team, the team who is responsible to set up, configure all the certification including. They have to decide right what item needs to be certified, who is going to certify when it should be certified. Based on these answers, they will determine what type of certification needs to be configured and when it needs to schedule everything. Then once certification has been executed, it will go to live, which means in the production the certification got activated, then access review will be generated. Once access review got generated, it will be assigned to the right certifier. Then certifier will validate the access. If they are going to approve, then access will be there as it is. If they are going to revoke, then what will happen? Access will be removed by Sailpoint. When it comes to access removal, again it depends. What type of application access is this? If it is a connected application, then access will be removed automatically. If it is a disconnected application access, then manual work item will be generated. Once access has been removed, then it will come to end phase. But if you want, whatever the entire process I have said, right now we can divide into multiple phases. We have 5 phases when it comes to certification staging: active challenge, revocation, end phase. Once certification got executed directly, it will come to staging phase where all the pre-validation will be run by certification team. Which means, let's say, whatever item we have added or whatever it may be, maybe we would have added some specific application, we would have excluded some set of fire entities, everything will be validated whether it's been excluded or included as expected or not. Once it's validated in the staging phase, then it will be activated. Once certification got activated, it will come to active phase where certifier will receive the work item and they would provide their approval decision. Once they provide their approval decision, the access review can be sign off. Basically, the work item will be completed. Then the certification will go to challenge phase. Basically, what will happen in the challenge phase? The certifier decision will be notified to the end users by stating your certifier took a decision to remove your access. If you need this access back, please challenge your certifier with valid business justification. Most of the time in real-time environment, challenge phase will be disabled because it's an optional phase. If certification team is going to enable, then only it will come to challenge phase, or else it will go to revocation phase. You know, in the revocation phase, access removal will happen, and again it depends on the application type. Once access has been removed, everything will be validated in the end phase and certification will be completed. That's it. This is how certification will run in real-time MVCs. Any question? Clear, Rakesh? Now what I mean, I'm going to demonstrate. What about certification? You want me to configure out of this? Shall we go ahead with manager certification? Vankesh? Before that, shall I ask you a question, all of you? Let's say we have 10 identities. Each identity is having different manager. I would say each identity is having a separate manager. We have 10 identities. We have 10 managers. In that scenario, we have to certify all 10 identity access. How many campaigns will be generated? How many access review will be generated? How many access review, how many campaigns will be generated? The number of access, review and campaign. Campaign could be 1. But if we select the manager, review in that case could be 10. Is it? 1 campaign and 10 access review will be generated. That's true. Now I'll do one thing. Let me select one user who is having multiple applications. Maybe let's try with Barbara. I cannot select multiple managers because multiple access review will be generated and we won't be able to complete demonstrative everything. We'll do one thing. We'll go ahead with manager certification by selecting only one manager. I'm not sure how many people are reporting to Mary Johnson. But we know Barbara actually she is reporting. And Barbara is having 4 application access. Track PeopleSoft Prism Loopback connected. Right. And here I could say track Prism Loopback connected. I'll do one thing. I would like to add Active Directory application as well. Let me try to find the user who is having more number of applications. Let's try with William. William is the right user. Look at here. William is having 5 different application access. Many roles. An entire role. Right. Now who is reporting to John Williams? Those user access needs to be reviewed by the manager. I'll do one thing. Now I'll go ahead and I will configure manager certification. To configure manager certification, navigate to Setup Certification. Now it's time to recall whatever we discussed far. Click on New Certification. These are the top of certification, what we already discussed. Now I'm going to select Manager Certification. Certification name we can add here. Then certification owner, the person who is responsible to define and manage this entire certification policy. Recipient will be John Williams because we want John Williams to review his reporting access, his subordinate access. If you're going to select all manager, in my system we have 58 managers. 58 access review will be generated. But now we want to generate only one access. When to certify? Obviously, it needs to be certified right away. If you want to schedule, then you can utilize these options. And already you are familiar with execution features. And what are the application needs to be included? Maybe in my system I have more than 11 different type of application. But I'm going to include only a couple of them. A deep Bloomberg connector PeopleServe Prism. Let's say I want to review only 4 applications. And I want to, in the access review, These are the items that are going to be popular. That's it. Entitlement rules permissions. If you have an account with no entitlement, then it needs to be included in the access review. And we need to include policy violation as well. That's it. Then navigate to lifecycle, where whatever phases we discussed, like staging, active challenge, revocation, increase. Everything we can configure under here. Staging needs to be enabled. That's certification team, which means certification team can validate everything. In the active period, we can define what will be the duration. Is it going to be active only for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month? You can change the duration as well as, let's say, if certifier is not providing their response on time, it needs to be revoked automatically. Let's take an example. If you came across these requirements, then in the active period, customization rule needs to be implemented. Let's say if Certify is not responding continuously for 5 days, then obviously Sailpoint will send reminder emails, escalation email. On top of that, access will be revoked automatically. If you came across this requirement, we can utilize this field. Akesha, just I'm passing you. Just in case, if there is an opposite requirement where it says if within the timeline, if no action is done, then automatically approve it instead of revoking. That is also a possible. That's also possible. That is all. That also will be a change, right? Customization. Customization rule. Now we have challenge phase. Basically, in the challenge phase, we will, one will notify the end user by the certifier decision. We can configure all the email template over here. Then, in the revocation phase, actually a rule will happen. Again, it depends on the application. Then, in the end phase, everything will be validated and certification will be completed. If you want to revoke all the access immediately, here in the revocation phase, we have a duration. The moment you are going to enable this checkbox, the duration will be removed because all the access needs to be revoked immediately. Let's say we don't have any item needs to be certified. It needs to be automate closing. Then you can enable this checkbox. That's it. Notification is all about. Say one will send initial notification to the certifier. Then after certain days, if certifier is not responding, then remainder email can be defined. After starting certification, after third day, remainder email needs to be sent once in every 2 days. And what will be the email template? If you would like to add any additional email recipient, you can add it here. After sending a couple of reminders, if you would like to escalate, maybe after sending 5 reminders, maybe 3 reminders. Escalation also, you can configure everything. On top of that, you can add who is going to act as an escalation recipient. Mostly it will be certifier. If you have a reminder, I think it owner is a method. Work it among owner's manager. Manager name needs to fetch. We can write a rule, something. Once you define all the reminders escalation email over here, you can do it. Then in the revocation phase, let's say if it is a non-conforming application, then obviously work item will be generated. Then say if one needs to send a reminder email, escalation email again. Then if we are going to perform any bulk reassignment, already you guys know what is reassignment, delegation and all. If you want to perform any bulk reassignment, then email also can be triggered from Sailpoint to the secondary certifier. Then the fourth option is all about Sailpoint behavior. Let's say prompt for sign off. What does that mean? Prompt for sign off. Let's say certifier is working on the access review. Once certifier provided all the decision, the access review needs to be signed off automatically, which means the sign off button will appear automatically. Then if you want to complete the access review, then we may require electronic signature. In such scenarios you can enable, but in real time I never see. Then we have simple, the configuration. Automatically sign up the work item. When nothing to certify, suppress notification email. When nothing to certify, require reassignment completion, which means you are an original certifier. To assign couple of items to secondary certifier. Assign means you reassign that item forwarded, basically. In that scenario, if this checkbox has been enabled, first secondary certifier should complete their access review. Then only first certifier, the original certifier, are allowed to certify everything. Similarly, you have couple of important arguments. You can go through this. It's all related to delegation and PSI. Then we have an option called bulk action. What is a bulk action? Let's say you are a certifier. You receive access review. When you open, you could see 500 plus users sign. If you want to provide bulk approval, if this checkbox has been enabled, then only you can access. You can open the access review. You can select all 500 users and you can provide the bulk approval decision. Same applies to bulk revocation. Bulk allow exception, reassignment, everything. This checkbox needs to be enabled. Then only certifier can perform bulk operation or else it's not possible. Then fifth one is all about access review, which means the work item custom name. You might need to define custom work name. Work item custom name. You can define it from here. Only for manager certification, we will have this fee. Because in this scenario, John William can be a senior manager. And whoever is reporting to John William, they can be considered as a manager. You want to generate access review for specified manager and their subordinate manager or only for the specified manager. We can define it. Then we can write an exclusion rule where if you want to exclude some identity, if you want to exclude some accounts based on some item, based on some criteria, then we can write a rule. And whatever items we are going to exclude, if you want to save them, this checkbox needs to be enabled. Similarly, exclude inactive identity, exclude logical application entitlement. Then you have to include all the capabilities. You guys know what is capabilities and alright. If you want to include this capability, you can utilize this. Then we have an option called pre-delegation. What is the pre-delegation? Pre-delegation means, let's say John William is a managing director or maybe a higher level executive. Obviously, John William is not going to certify all the user access, right? In such scenarios, if you want to delegate to some other delegated person, we can utilize this pre-delegation rule. Basically, if user is an executive or a managing director or CEO, then those items needs to be assigned to their delegated person. Something like that. Sign off approval rule. Same applies to whatever we discussed in the customization, active period customization. If you want to achieve them, we can do it from here as well. Then allow self-certification. What is this? Allow self-certification. The certifier access can be part of the work item, which means the certifier cannot review their own access right. If yes, if we want them to certify their own access, then who can act as a certifier? Everything we can defend from here. All certifier means all certifier can certify their access. Only system and certification admin. Certification admin means this first. Certification admin and system admin can certify their access. Only system admin we can define. If only system admin, then what about other certifier? In such scenarios, you can select this person is going to act as a certifier for actual certifier. Once you define everything, the partitioning, we won't use it, you can skip. This is how we have to configure all type of certifications. Once you configure, just schedule it. We selected it. It needs to be executed right away. It's in the pending state. How many access review will be generated? One access review. Only one campaign will be generated. This is what the one campaign. It's in the staging phase. I'm opening the campaign. Now I could see only one access review has been generated. 4 identities are reporting to John Williams. And 14 item needs to be complete. Out of 14, 5 roles, 3 entitlements, 6 application accounts. No policy violation. And you could see only one access review got generated. And John is the certifier. It's in the staging phase. By the time now, Sailpoint would have triggered notification email to John Williams. Let me log in as a John Williams. Now I logged in as a certifier as John Williams. When I opened my access review here, I could see we didn't receive the new work item. Because the certification campaign is in the staging phase. In the staging phase, only certification team will validate in field. Now we validated everything. It looks good. I'm going to activate this. Once I activate the access, review will be moved from staging to active phase. It's good. Now as a certifier, I will log in and I will try to refresh. Now I could see we receive a new work item. Correct. This is the one. Or else maybe you can access from work item also. Go to work item tab. This is the latest one. You can open this. Now we are having 14 items. Let's start on fall identities. Now let's say we selected one identity. William Moore is not reporting to me anymore. Due to some business reason, he is not reporting to me. I'm going to delegate all of his access to some other certifier. You can select that identity. Click on reassign or delegate. I'm going to reassign this item. I'm going to reassign to SP admin. In this scenario, how many access reviews will be generated? Out of 4 identities, one identity has been reassigned to SP admin. Now we are having 3 identities. Now go to certification campaign and check. Initially we had only 1, but now we are having 2, including the reassignment access review. For one thing, John Williams is the certifier. For other item, SP admin is the certifier. Now let me try to provide my approval decision for selecting all the emails. I select everything. I'm trying to provide bulk approval for all the items. Now as an original certifier, I'm trying to save. I'm trying to sign up this work item, but it's throwing an error. It's stating reassignment must be complete because we'll enable the checkbox. Reassignment item needs to be complete first. Let me log in as a secondary certifier. It's going to SP admin. It can navigate to my access review. From there, I can complete this. Reassignment from access review for John Williams. Now here total, we are having 6 items. 3 role needs to be removed. Test ITPI is super something. Then we have one more role. Accounts payable also needs to be removed. and one account. PeopleSoft application account needs to be removed. Then this entire thing. For all the items, I'm trying to take a decision to remove all of them. Out of these many items, only 6 items is getting up here. We'll see. Now I'm trying to sign up this work item as a secondary certifier. See, sign up button is appearing automatically because of the checkbox. It's completed. Now, as a prime original certifier, I'm going to complete that work item as a... The first item also is complete. Now we completed both access review. We can navigate to campaign and we can check whether the sign up data has been updated or not. Here I could see sign up data has been updated and still it's in the active phase. Is that right? Certified took a decision to remove 4 roles, 1 entitlement, 1 account. But still it's in the active phase. In real time, I mean in the task chapter, already we discussed, right? We have a task name called perform maintenance. This perform maintenance is responsible to change a transition from one piece to another piece. This perform maintenance task is responsible for all certification. We executed the task manually. But in real time, it will get executed automatically because it's a scheduled task. I hope you guys are clear far. Excellent walkthrough, Rakesh. It is just that I feel a little fast, but otherwise awesome. No. If you want, I can have one dedicated session once again. There is no doubt. It's backbone of Sailpoint IGA. Feel free to ask if you have any questions. Then this is very important module as well. It's exactly certification. Here you have to pay attention. We completed 2 access reviews. Technically, Sailpoint will consider access review as certification. You should not get confused. Certification on access review bookers and revocation scanned. Only one user was there. Only one revocation scanned. Now go ahead and check the status of the access review. Basically the certification. Now it's in the active phase. I'm going to refresh now because the task has been executed from active to revocation. Challenge phase within the enable. Directly, it went to revocation page. Correct. That's it. Now go to user profile. Before that, I'll just show you. Just check the certification campaign status. Just go ahead and check. Certification campaign is showing as completed, which means certification is completed. Now go to user profile and check. When we checked last time, user had many roles, entitlement and application account. Now I'm going to refresh the user. See, couple of roles has been removed except track, because track was not part of the track. When go to application account, everything is removed. I hope you guys are clear how these roles were removed, because we took a decision to remove 4 roles. Is that right? All 4 roles has been removed, including all the entire. Does that make sense? Do you want me to configure one more certification? Or else shall we talk about troubleshooting? If you guys are clear how certification campaign can be figured. If you are, then we can talk about troubleshooting. Or else I can walk you through one more different type of certification. User lost couple of access. Rule has been removed. Entitlement has been removed. Tomorrow, obviously user will log in. And user will create a ticket by stating, I'm not able to access this application. I'm not able to log in. Maybe I'm able to log in, but I'm not able to access particular menu. You have to troubleshoot. Is that right? How will you troubleshoot? You have to open the particular identity. Then you have to go to the Street tab. From there you can check what are the access has been removed by a certification process. At this time, Stamp Certifier took a decision to remove all of these access. Accounts payable role has been removed. Prism role has been removed. Correct. Test IT role has been removed. Lot of access has been removed. This could be end user problem. Let's talk about one more issue. Let me open the access review first. This certifier took a decision to remove all of these access. All roles has been removed. There is no doubt. This entitlement also has been removed. It's good. But now certification team is asking. Certifier took a decision to remove the access. But why this PeopleSoft access is not removed here? Because here you could see it clearly indicates PeopleSoft access is removed. Correct. Why this application access is not removed? Why it's not removed? Then what you can do? You can go to here. I can go to admin console. From there, try to access provisioning transaction. Then you have to select the respective IR entities. Source should be certification. Then you can search. Here, the username is Williamoth. The source will be certification. Now certification team is asking why PeopleSoft access is not removed. Correct. Correct. The first line is clearly indicates. PeopleSoft application. The event was deleted since the type is manual. What does it mean? Manual work item. It's a non-conforming application. Obviously, Sailpoint will generate a work item only. Work item generated successfully because of this certification. Access review basically. We can tell them there is a access. Work item got generated. And additionally, you can tell them the work item status as well. The work item got generated. Remediation work item to remove Williamoth access from PeopleSoft application. The work item is not completed yet. Because of that reason, access is not removed. What means when access will get deleted in the target system that IDM will agree is? Sailpoint will agree. Then it will be removed from Sailpoint also. Correct. It's not completed. That's all about manager certification. Now we'll do one thing. In the Prism application, initially we had I have demonstrated everything inside Sailpoint from Sailpoint. Now let's talk about target. From target, obviously, Williamoth account should have been deleted. I'm going to refresh now. Still it's there. Why it's not removed? Because certifier took a decision to remove the entitlement, not the application account. Got it. Certifier took a decision to remove either role or entitlement. Role has been removed. Still account is there. Here, account should be part of them. Let me demonstrate that scenario using another certification. This time I'm going to demonstrate application owner certification. We selected only one manager. We performed the intake scenario. This time again, I'm going to select one application. We'll select application owner certification. Application owner, the certification owner you have to update. Out of these many applications, I'm going to select only PISM application. Because we know in PISM application we are having 11 accounts. Correct. I want it to be executed right away. I want to include all the items like entitlement, roles, target permission, everything. Or else we should allow certifier to review only accounts. If certifier is going to approve, account will remain as it is. If certifier is going to take a decision, then accounts will be removed there. On top of that, if you would like to add policy violation, you can add it. You guys are familiar with staging active and all right. If it is enabled, then certification will go to the respective fields, or else it will skip. For a demonstration purpose, this time I'm not going to enable staging fields. Directly access review will be generated. And then notification behavior adverse. Here I'm going to define SPAdmin as a specific certifier. That is the reason I mentioned. We can define specific identity, individual identity or workgroup as a certifier. Now we need a custom name. This is going to be Prism Access Review. I don't want to exclude any of these items. Here you cannot find the additional field. I'm going to configure this certification. That's it. But before that, before configuring any certification, if you are part of governance team, you have to validate. You have to match the data because in Prism application you are having 11 accounts. The same 11 accounts should be appear in Sailpoint also. Anyhow, we configured the certification. But now I will show you how to validate. Go to Intelligence, Advanced Analytics. From here you can select Tourism application. If Sailpoint also fetching 11 accounts, it's 12 and good. If there is a mismatch, we are having 11 accounts here also. Correct. Which means there is no aggregation mismatch. Or else you have to aggregate the data once again. We configure application owner certification. Everything looks good. The certification is in the active case. Which means by the time now the certifier could have received the work item. Now I will log in as a certifier. We define custom work item name. Prism Access Review. See, the custom work access review name is printed. Now I am going to certify all of the assets. Here I could see 11 accounts. But all 11 accounts, I will take a decision. I am going to take a decision to revoke a couple of them. Abdumanda, Annie, Barbara, Betty, Brenda, Careless. Only 4 accounts is going to be approved. Remaining accounts can be deleted. These 4 accounts will be approved. Remaining accounts will be deleted. From Abdul to till Brenda. Which means from Abdul to till Brenda. These many accounts. Total. These many accounts needs to be detected from Prism application as well. Right. Now, as a certifier, I took a decision and I sign up the work item. Now access review is completed. You can go to application owner certification campaign and check. See, access review sign update has been updated. Now it is in the active phase. And these many items have been reviewed. Now, you can wait for next 3 more minutes. Because in the system by default perform maintenance is a scheduled task. Once in every 5 minutes it will get executed. But anyway, I am going to execute this task manually. That certification transition will happen from one phase to another phase. You look at here. finished certification, automatically closed certification, archive certification, transition certification pieces. This checkbox has to be enabled. I have executed this task manually. In this scenario, only one certification will be finished. Only. How many revocation will be there? Any. Totally, we took 7 users to remove the access rate. This is users. Total 10 revocation will be there. 1 certification will be finished. 1 certification. 7 revocation. Because the number of users was 7. It's now go to certification campaign and check these status. And you access rep in the revocation phase. Again in my system, Prism is a confirming application. Then obviously access would have been removed now. Now let's go to Sailpoint. And we'll try to calculate how many Prism account exists in Sailpoint. Initially, when we checked last time, we had 11 accounts. Now I'm going to refresh. Here you could see only 4 accounts exist, because 7 accounts have been deleted. Now I'm going to check in the target application as well. But anyhow, in real time you cannot check the target data directly. You have to request them to share the data. Last time we had 11 accounts. Now I'm going to refresh. Now we are having 4 accounts. I hope you guys are clear how access removal will happen. Any question? Any question? Any question, guys? That means certifier can delete the account on the target as well for the certification. And by providing decision, certifier cannot delete directly, right? He can provide derivatives, I'll do one thing. I'll configure one more type of certification. Here I could see we have a list of users. Like 7 users are having Prism user business role, right? This time we want to review whether this user is having right set of business role or right. Now I'm going to configure role membership or role composition. Which type of certification we have to execute? Role membership will help you to review whether the user is having right set of role access or not. Role composition will help us to review whether the entitlement configure under role is correct or not. We have to select role membership. I think yesterday we discussed it. The type of certification. I want to review only one specific role, which is called Prism user. Because these list of users are having Prism user business role. This is what are required. You have an option to certify by role type. You can select the individual role. It's up to the requirement. I want it to be executed right away. Lifecycle, I'm not going to enable. Staging phase and all. Again, I need an individual certifier. SP. Or else manager can act as a certifier. Role owner can act as a certifier. It depends. I'm going to schedule a certification. Still, it's in the pending state. Only one access review got generated. Total 7 items are there. 7 identities, 7 rows. Now again, I'm going to log in as a certifier and I will access the work item. Access review for role membership. Again, I will select all the users, all 7 users, and I will take a decision to revoke all of them. Click Save Decision. As a certifier, I completed the work item. Sign out the work item. Now still it's in the active phase. We have to execute the task manually. The task name is Perform Maintenance Task. I think Rima is there. Rima, did you get it? I think he wants to become a developer, right? Rima and Shanton. Yes, I'm here. I hope you guys got the code also. The example code are ready. I need to go it again. I got the idea. Never time comments. Try to explore. No issue. Again, we are having only one access review. Again, 7 items. 7 user revocation forms. Obviously, by the time now, campaign status would have been completed. For role membership, because it's in the revocation phase. Now go ahead and refresh these identity variables. All these first 7 users would have been lost. The role access. See that the Prism rule has been removed. Got. If you want to confirm, because the certification team will come and they will ask why this access has not been removed. In such scenarios, you can check the provisioning transaction for all 7 users. Go to provisioning. From here, you can easily check. For these users, if type is auto, which means it's a conforming application. You can check it from here. Source should be certification. The type will be auto. If a type is manual, then it's a non-conforming application. Sometimes it may show some error also. It's related to SIM. Let me show you. Source should be certification. And when Sailpoint tried to delete Active Directory account, it's throwing an error. What is the error? Error occurred while deleting this account. Now we have to check with application team. Active Directory application team. Why AD application is not able to remove this account? It could be permission issue. Maybe the application was down when Sailpoint tried to remove the access. Something like that. For Prism application, here we are getting some error. We have to check the code. We have to check the developers. If something failure, then we have to troubleshoot. We have to investigate and identify the reports. When it comes to troubleshoot 100%, we are going to rely on this provisioning transaction to capture logs to get the error. Second, whether access has been removed or not, how will you determine? Always, you can refer the history table. From the history table, you can check what are the decisions taken by the certifiers. That's it, guys. That's all about certification. This is fine. Are we also going to talk about how we are going to integrate the certification with life cycle events? For example, when a mover triggers, I want to trigger a manager's certification to address the access. That's a good requirement. Got. You guys are clear what is certification, right? I thought we can talk about in the life cycle events. No, I shall show you right away. Whenever there is some event is going to happen, maybe we have a user whose manager got changed recently. Whenever manager is going to get update, then certification needs to be triggered that his new manager can review the user access. In such scenarios, we can configure the event. Event type should be maybe. Let's say whenever manager. We have manager field. Has to be there. Let's say consider this is the manager attribute. Whenever manager value is going to get changed, then this event has to be triggered. We have to configure that access will be reviewed automatically by the new manager, or else we can use rule also. Using rules, this certification event can be triggered. This will be for mover event, is it? Rakesh, how do you connect to the lifecycle? First, you have to define the mover event. First of all here, go to lifecycle event. From here, you have to configure mover event, right? The mover event, how it can be triggered, it depends on the criteria requirement. Whenever, let's say department, whenever user is going to move from one department to another department, then this event needs to be triggered. First, the Sailpoint will identify the event change. Some value is getting changed in Sailpoint for the identity right. Then this event will be triggered. The same concept we can apply for certification also. This is what certification event. Here I can define. In this scenario, whenever the threshold, identity risk threshold, is going to reach more than 700, then event needs to be triggered. Got it. Something like we have to. How the mover event is linked to the certification event here. Mover event is different. The certification event is different. Both are different. I understand that. Got it. Now let's focus on a certification event. We have a requirement whenever some event is going to change. Maybe user is changing department, one department, another department. The actual requirement is all of these access will be removed, the existing access. A new application access will be added, but mover event right. In that transition, the user may have some common application as well. Now application. Everything has been defined in the workflow level. This workflow is responsible to take care of all these changes. Mover event will be completed here. Got it, Satash. Completed. But the certification event will help the certifier to review. The user is having the right set of new access or not. That review will be done by their manager. Does that make sense? But Rakas, here I have one question. That many organizations may go for the reorg sometimes. Reorg means mass level of the position changes or mass level of the mass mover event. In this case, how certification event will be done? Because if one will be done manually, then it will be much time taking. Right. Again, you have to approach it. What? Using which criteria, which attribute value the event needs to be triggered. That's very important, right? As you said, the position is going to be changed. In some environment, I noted position ID will be there. Whenever the position ID is going to change, then event needs to be triggered. What you can do, you can select attribute change. Assume we have a position attribute here, position ID attribute. Whenever this position ID attribute value is going to change from any changes is going to happen, then this certification event needs to be triggered that the manager can review all of the access. Using certification event. Got it. But my question is something different. That again, this certification need to be reviewed by the manager. Right. Correct. But is there some rule or something we can define inside the system that it will automatically review? It may take time, but it automatically review and complete that. This much is completed. This much is not completed. Something like this. It prepared a report. Because let's say our organization has 50,000 employee and 10,000 employed, 500 employee has been moved. And he's a sorry for the interruption. You're asking auto review, right? That should not be reviewed by the certifier. It needs to be reviewed automatically. Can we have some logic over here? Is that your question? Something like this. I'm not sure about the terms, but my point is it should be done automatically. If we want, we should be able to configure. Because manager don't want to review 500 data. In such scenarios, we can have sign-up approval rule. Whenever certification is going to be sign off, basically access review is going to be sign off, right? In such scenarios, we can implement some customization. Is that clear? Using the sign off approval rule, it's possible. And how it works. Here we can have the customization. We have to write a rule. Because sometimes all the items will be auto-approved, auto-rejected and alright. We don't require certifier. You can fulfill this requirement using these rules. Sign-off approval rule. Got it? Not still, because this is like auto approval and auto rejection of the request which has been raised, right? It's not like a certification. Certification. Let's say you are telling if user is a developer, you should have one. Let me clarify my points. Go ahead. I am the single user right now. I have been moved from the one position to another position. My old rules should be removed. For this, my manager can raise the certification and he can verify that my old rules has been removed or not from the conforming as well as non-conforming application. Am I correct? That is certification. Your manager will take a decision to review whether you are having a right set of access or not. But in this scenario, as you said, your position ID got changed. Maybe you are promoted from one role to another role. In that scenario, actually, what Sailpoint will do using this mover event, or maybe you can name it as you want. Using this event, this workflow will decide what are the access needs to be removed and what are the new application access needs to be added, provided as per your new role. That comes in mover event. Mover event has been performed. Mover event. Let's say I have some non-conforming application. We have a system has raised the access that from this application, Chandan access should be removed. But after that, after 1 day, 2 days or less 7 days, certification comes in the picture to validate whether Chandan access has been removed from the non-conforming application or not. Am I right? That is certification. This is for what? Access has been removed or not. The actual answer would be Sailpoint will determine. Obviously, Sailpoint will have all the list of new application access. As you said, some of the item is not removed. Those items also will be part of your identity profile, right? Those access also will be added in the access review, which means the work item. Then your manager has to certify manually. If it is not required again, they have to initiate to remove the non-conforming application access. Got it. Thank you. That's good. Thank you. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.